The road to the 2020 Kentucky Derby continues, and let's get an update on the Kentucky Derby leaderboard for Thursday, February the 20th. This is after last week's Risen Star Stakes, and then on Monday we had the Southwest Stakes from Oaklawn Park, and the leader right now, as you can see, is Mr. Monomoy with 52 points on the Kentucky Derby Trail. Of course, he won the first division of the Risen Star. Meanwhile, the second winner of the Risen Star, Modernist, surprised at 12-1 for trainer Bill Mott, and he's squarely on that Kentucky Derby starting gate. He's currently got 50 points. Both of those horses, based on past history cutoffs, should make the Kentucky Derby field for 2020 if they are training and moving forwardly as we get to the first Saturday in May. Meanwhile, Enforceable, with his runner-up effort in the Risen Star, he's now got 33 points, and he's pretty close to being in. I would say he actually is going to be in. I think we're going to have a few horses do some repeats and double up in the final rounds here, and the point total will probably be a little bit lower this year to maybe get into the Kentucky Derby. Also, Storm the Court, after his debut this year in 2020, running third in the San Vicente. Next race for him yet to be determined, as he is going to probably go from sprint to route. Sunland and the Santa Anita Derby, possibly going to Oaklawn Park, are an option for the 2-year-old juvenile champion, Storm the Court. Tiz the Law, meanwhile, he is locked and loaded for the Florida Derby after winning impressively the Holy Bull Stakes. So that means he'll go into the Kentucky Derby, if they stick to the plan, with only 2 races in like 12 weeks and just 2 races in 2020 leading up to that starting gate, but he should be fresh for a Triple Crown run. Meanwhile, Silver Prospector with 21 points after the impressive Southwest Stakes. He is getting ready and gearing up for another appearance at Oaklawn Park, possibly, most likely, in the Rebel Stakes next. 1,000 Words, he's waiting at Santa Anita, going to run in the San Felipe Stakes. He's got 20 points. And Major Fed, with a good late run to Modernist to run second, he now has 20 points on the trail. Silver State keeps on picking up checks. He'll probably stay down at the Swamp at the fairgrounds, continue his run towards the Kentucky Derby. We possibly could see him maybe move over to the Bluegrass for his final appearance as a prep. Meanwhile, Independence Hall, he is still debating on his next start. Could be the Wood, could be the Tampa Bay Derby, or maybe he goes to the Florida Derby. We'll wait and see. Of course, the runner-up effort in the Sam F. Davis, which was a nice effort, first off the bench, and still kind of trying to cycle into a top effort in May for Independence Hall. Meanwhile, Shotsky, see what he's going to do next. Shotsky also disappointed in his most recent state. He's got a couple of options. Could go Florida Derby, could go Holy Bull. Maybe he'll even go back and run in the Wood Memorial. And then the rest of them are starting to get down to Azul Coast, Shoplifted, Annie Dior. They have regrouped. They're back in California after running off the board at even money in the Risen Star. Annie Dior is going to wait for the Santa Anita Derby as his final prep to try to get in to the first Saturday in May. Maxfield, first workout of the year. Going to be tough for him to really get back on the Kentucky Derby trail, but he could be a force maybe in the Preakness or get a prep in like the Lexington and then point for the Belmont Stakes for a horse like Maxfield. 8 rings, 4 furlongs, and 47. That was his most recent work, and he's thinking about the Sunland Derby, possibly waiting for the Santa Anita Derby, or possibly going out of town to Oaklawn Park, or maybe even a race like the Gotham or something like that in New York. And then we rounded out with Solo Volante and Dennis Moment. Sol Volante, he's going to wait for either the Tampa Bay Derby or the Louisiana Derby. And then Dennis Moment going to go in the Fountain of Youth just a week from this Saturday. That'll be his first appearance of the year. Could be facing Chance It, or possibly As Seen on TV. That's a look at your Kentucky Derby leaderboard for Thursday, February the 20th. What do you think? Are Modernist and Mr. Monomoy going to come back for a rematch in the Louisiana Derby? Where do you see Enforceable going? And of the new shooters that don't have any points, you've got horses like Charlatan and also Nadal. Where do you see them picking up their points? Leave a comment below. Share this video. That's your Kentucky Derby leaderboard as they race to the 2020 Kentucky Derby.